Okay, so welcome to Dino America Born in the Philippines YouTube channel again. So as I promised, I'm going to make some burritos, and I'm going to show you what I do to make my burritos. It's pretty easy. So let's get on to that. Thank you. Alright, okay, so what we have here is an onion and a couple pieces of garlic. So I basically just kind of slice the ends off. Like that. Get a slice on the skin. And then we're going to just get this peel off of here, the skin off the onion. Usually peels off easy. I don't know what's wrong with this onion. There, all that's done. Peels everything out of the way. Now I like to slice mine in half. And then you can take your onion and slice it like this on the side, so the pieces stay kind of whole. You start doing a little chop. It does not have to be very small because it's going to go in with the ground beef and it'll cook down in there. This is basically for flavoring for the ground beef for the burrito meat. Oop, a couple slices left. So I'm going to take the onion and slide it off onto a small plate, transferring it to the pot or the pan when I'm cooking the ground beef. Before we do that, we want to do our garlic. This is the way I do the garlic. Go to the top and the bottom, go almost all the way through, peel it back, and then voila, the skin comes off just like that. Professional chefs show to smash it. I don't like to smash it. To me, it takes the oil, the garlic oil, out of the garlic itself. You lose some of the flavor. Yes, I'm making a mess on the table. Alright, that part's done. We're going to reserve this onion for after I put the burrito together, put my beans and my meat on there. I'm going to put some diced onion in there with it. So I like to slice my garlic in half. Oops. I like to slice my garlic in half, then I have a flat side like that to lay it down on, and then I can do my chopping. Again, just like the onion, it doesn't have to be tiny. It's going to cook down in the meat anyway. So we're almost finished with this part. Garlic and onion are going to go in the pan with ground beef at the same time, so we can just put that like this. Alright, over to the cook stove. I already have the ground beef in the pan. Approximately 1 pound of ground beef. This is a 90% lean ground beef. It's like ground round or something like that. So I'm going to put just a little bit of oil in there so it doesn't stick to the pan very easy. I'm not going to use any salt in this because the taco seasoning has plenty of salt in it as it is. Let's turn this on. About a medium flame. toss our onion and garlic in here. Put a little black pepper in. And then wait for it to start cooking. Basically take your fork and kind of almost like you're shredding it. As it cooks down, it shreds easier to smaller pieces. And make sure it cooks faster. You can put a lid on there. Alright, so the meat's sizzling now. You can see it's starting to brown. Onion and the garlic is getting cooked. So just kind of mash your fork down on the ground beef. And if the ground beef gets too much stuck to the fork, you can always just slide it off. So this is almost finished already. When I'm finished with this, then I have to strain the oil out of it. So this will take maybe 5 minutes to do. Cover back on, let it brown some more. So ground beef is all done. Onion and garlic is cooked in. On to the next step, which is going to be to drain the fat or the oil from it. So this is a small strainer. So I think we're going to get a plate or a small bowl to put the meat in. After it gets drained. Oops. This is probably not all going to fit. So we'll probably have to do this in like 2 batches. Let's see if I can get some more in here. Maybe we can do this in 1 batch. Yeah, I think we can accomplish that. 1 batch, yay. Try to scrape as much oil as you can out of the pan. Alright, that's good there. Now we just let that set and drain for a little bit. Alright, so now it's time to start putting the seasoning in the meat. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our heat back on a little bit. We don't want it real hot because we don't want anything to burn. About a medium heat. It'll take a little bit longer to get it hot, but it'll be better, trust me. Alright, so now we're going to dump our ground beef back into the pan here. Oops. Like that. Get it smoothed out a little bit. And we're going to add 1 cup of water. Is what it takes. So what the water does is when you put your seasoning packet in there, it gives you a liquid to stir things up, and then it'll cook down into the meat. And here's our Taco Bell mild taco seasoning mix. Now if you want to spice that up a little bit, if you happen to have some cayenne pepper around, you can use that to make it a little bit hotter. So we're going to cover this, it'll make it get hot faster, start simmering. Okay, it's getting ready to simmer. See right there, it's got some bubbles coming up, so it's getting pretty warm now. I'm going to move the pan over a little bit where the heat might be, so more of the center gets hot also. Alright, so it looks like we can now pour this in. The whole packet. Make sure everything comes out so you get all the flavor. Spices smell good. I haven't smelled that in more than 2 years. Oh my god. Alright, you just want to stir it up pretty good. Get it all mixed in here. It's almost all mixed in. Now you can see it turned the liquid, the water, brown from the spices. Chili powder in there, paprika, cumin powder, some garlic in there. Get those chunks of spice mixed up. Stir it in. And a little cayenne pepper, most likely, in the spices. Alright, so you can see it's starting to thicken already. So let's put our lid back on and let it just simmer for it by itself. Okay, so it's been a few minutes now, so let's check on the meat. You want to keep an eye on this. You don't want it to burn, so every once in a while you want to give it a stir. See how it's getting dry right here in this area? Also, when you're about halfway cooking through it, when you have about half the liquid out of there, turn your heat down some because it gets thick, and then of course anything that gets thick starts boiling faster. So now we can cook this because it's been cooking about 5 minutes with the lid on. We'll let this cook down a little bit more to where it's almost dry. Well, there it is. As you can see, it's almost completely dried out. So we're on to our next task. That's going to be cooking the refried beans, which are already cooked, but I like to add butter to them. Make them a little softer, pastier, and when they're warmer, much easier to spread. So our Rosarita traditional refried beans, already took the lid off. I'll show you what's inside here. I'm going to keep the lid because I'm probably only going to use like half of this can. And then I can put the lid back on and put it inside of a Ziploc bag for storage in the refrigerator to save it. There's our pot. Put a little butter in there. Heat on, low. You don't burn the butter. I'm going to scoop some beans in here. Like I said, probably about half a can. There's some in here that did not get ground up or smashed up. See right there, maybe? Doesn't take very many beans for a burrito to add that extra texture or flavor. Okay, that part's done. Put our lid on there. It'll help melt down the butter faster and warm up the beans quicker. Now I can put the lid back down inside of the can like that. That'll help keep fresh. And then all we have to do is take the Ziploc bag and put it over the top of the can and the beans. And there you go. Help keep that fresh in the refrigerator. Alright, starting to cook a little bit, so we'll get that stirred up a little bit, get that butter in there. See the butter down there in the bottom, maybe? Can you see that? Okay. So we're just basically going to do like this with it. Mash it up with the butter, get it all nice and smoother. Takes no time at all. Next step, we're going to steam the tortillas so they're nice and soft, so they don't break when you fold them over. Alright, that is done. Turn that off. Alright, so I got a little bit of water in my Armour Flex turbo cooker here. Found a steamer plate for it. Put that down in here, like that. These tortillas came with like a Ziploc package here. Let's be careful how close we cut to that. Finally. Okay, so now we got our tortilla in there. We close the lid. Find the button that says steam. Right there, steam. It says 15 minutes. I don't think we're going to need that long. Let's go down to about 3 or 2 maybe, because it won't take long. Here we go. Let the steam out already. So let's open this up. Out. It's fighting with me. Here we go. Check out our tortilla. Let's grab a pair of tongs here because it looks very hot. Right there. So for me, what I like to do, I lid's off. Get a nice little smather of some beans. These are small tortilla shells. I like to put cheddar cheese on mine, but somebody forgot to get any. And get some meat on there. It doesn't really take much meat either, especially these small tortillas. I'm going to throw a little lettuce on here. I also like salsa or picante, but don't have any. But you know what this is going to do, because I haven't had burritos in 2 years. I got the Rosarita brand refried beans. I prefer like the old El Paso with the chilies in it. But Lazada didn't have any for me to order. Alright, there we go. So, bon appetit. Thanks for watching the video. I'll try to make it as short as possible.